Bo Nickal will KO Jamie Pickett in 30 seconds of round number 1 at UFC 282. Khamzat Chimaev's next fight. We got Paddy Pimblett's next fight, and we have my prediction for Kamaru, Usman, Leon Edwards 3, the trilogy. All of this in today's video. Go down and like this video, subscribe with notifications turned on, and comment your predictions for a few of the fights we're going to talk about as well. But let's get into it. Make sure you stay to the end of the video to see all of these MMA topics. First topic of the day. Bo Nickal is going to KO Jamie Pickett in 30 seconds of round number 1. I'm going to be dead honest with you. That's exactly what I think is going to happen here. I don't think Bo Nickal is going to go out there with the game plan of wrestling and grappling. He legitimately knocked out Donovan Beard on Dana White's Contender Series. He went back awake after the back of his head hit the canvas, and then Bo Nickal submitted him. I don't think he wants to get another submission win on a pay-per-view, a UFC 282 stacked UFC fight card. I think Bo Nickal is going to go out there. He's going to pressure Jamie Pickett forward, feint a few takedowns, and 20 to 30 seconds in to round number 1. Jamie Pickett's back is going to be to the cage. Bo Nickal is going to pressure him forward and land a big left hook, right hook, uppercut right in the chin of Jamie Pickett, a few ground-and-pound shots, and in under 30 seconds, I do believe that Bo Nickal will KO Jamie Pickett and get one of the fastest finishes in the UFC's middleweight division of all time. Bo Nickal is going to dominate this fight. Jamie has been knocked out by Jordan Wright in the UFC, got submitted by Kyle Dawkins, and got knocked out by Dennis Tulinin in his last fight. I think Bo Nickal will keep it on the feet and KO Jamie Pickett in literally 30 seconds of round number 1. Who should Paddy Pimblett fight next inside of the UFC? I'm planning on fighting on UFC 282. I'm just waiting for an opponent, lad. I don't think there's anyone ducking me. I don't think anyone would duck me, lad, because I don't look very scary. My style, everyone looks at it. I'll beat them. I don't think anyone would duck me, lad, because I have the recognition, as you say, the following that they haven't gotten. Everyone's going to try to beat me and steal my hype, but no one is going to do it. So Paddy Pimblett does not believe people are ducking him because they think that he is not a very scary fighter. I mean, look at Paddy. Does he look like a guy that is going to absolutely destroy you on the feet, knock you out, and submit you? No, but he definitely can do so. So he's not saying people are ducking him, but he has not had an opponent just yet for UFC 282 on the main card of the pay-per-view, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video, is who that opponent is going to be. Who in the world is Paddy Pimblett gonna fight next inside of the UFC's lightweight division at UFC 282, and I have two guys I think would make for a very, very good fight. Now, on here it is saying guys like Ilia Topuria, Bobby Green, Jared Gordon, Matt Frevola, Terrence McKinney, and a few other guys. I'm going to rule out Terrence McKinney, to be honest with you. Matt Frevola would be a decent one. Ilia Topuria would be a decent one, but I'm going to rule those guys out, and I'm going to lean Bobby Green or Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon is a guy that gets finished a lot inside of the UFC, has been finished in 4 fights, and in every loss as a professional MMA fighter has been knocked out or submitted in round 1, round 2, or round 3, as we saw in the last fight with Grant Dawson. Paddy Pimblett, that's a perfect fight for Paddy Pimblett, a guy that gets finished every single time he goes out there. Paddy is probably, the saliva's coming right out of his mouth, not because he's seeing another Paddy burger or anything, but he's seeing a guy that gets finished a lot inside of the UFC, and Paddy is looking to get all the highlights for the reels in this lightweight division, so Jared Gordon makes all the sense in the world for a fight for Paddy Pimblett. But We also know Bobby Green is going to be good to go by December time. Once his suspension by USADA is over, he will be good to go at UFC 282. And I really do like that test for Bobby Green and for Paddy the Baddy, because Bobby Green just lost to Islam Makhachev inside of the UFC. And now, if he's going to fight Paddy the Baddy Pimblett, that'll put him on the same playing field as Islam Makhachev, who's about to fight for the UFC lightweight belt. So either Bobby Green or Jared Gordon next. Personally, I think Jared Gordon makes all the sense in the world for Paddy the Baddy's next fight in the UFC. But what do y'all think? Who should Paddy the Baddy Pimblett fight next inside of the UFC? Should it be Bobby Green? Should it be Jared Gordon? Or should it be someone else in the UFC's lightweight division? Khamzat Chimaev's next fight inside of the UFC, his coaches laid out a plan for Khamzat Chimaev, who he should fight in the middleweight division, who they're planning on fighting in the welterweight division. Just the next steps for Khamzat Chimaev inside of the UFC. And I'm going to warn you, it's going to be a pretty long video, but there's a lot of interesting details and things that his coach is saying regarding to the future of Khamzat Chimaev in the UFC. So stay to the end of this video if you want to learn all there is to know about Khamzat Chimaev's future. So let's get into it. As soon as they got there 1 or 2 days later in Russia, the Russian president was starting to draft people in Russia, and Chimaev was literally just visiting his parents to spend 10 days with them in Russia, then come back to Brazil and start training jiu-jitsu and grappling. He was supposed to be here with us. That was the plan, but I think things are starting to get back to normal. I believe he will be able to go to Sweden in 1 week. If he does, he's going to go to UFC 280 in Abu Dhabi as a guest fighter. The UFC's 170-pound division is a bit stuck because there will be a rematch, said Nascimento, the coach, referring to the trilogy of Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman. Chimaev's situation at 170 pounds is he either wants to fight or serve as the backup fighter in case someone gets injured for Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman, or he wants to move up to the middleweight division and fight a guy in the top 5 of that division. But we don't rule out the possibility of, even though I think it's going to be very hard for Israel Adesanya to beat Poatan Alex Pereira, we would love to beat, Adesanya would have beaten everyone in the top 7 at least once to even twice in some cases. So maybe we would jump the line and just go right over everyone in that middleweight division because Israel Adesanya has already cleared out the top of that division. So he's saying Khamzat might be able to get and jump the line in the middleweight division and get a title shot. And we thought about going up, but we've already created a legacy at 170 pounds already. If we move up to the 185-pound division, everything would have been for nothing except for the experience. But the focus is on becoming a champion. After we mentioned going up to the middleweight division, we sat down with the whole team and decided to wait for the welterweight division to settle, so at least we have a title fight. If he wins, perfect. We go for the next one. If he loses, we go up. All that being said, a rematch with the Brazilian middleweight and a heated rival in Paulo Costa for UFC 283 show in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil is not out of the question for now. If the UFC thinks that's doable, he can make it happen, Nascimento said. The UFC is a company. They want the numbers, they want the results, they want the money, they want to sell. So I believe the UFC will make it happen if they want to for sure. We were really anxious to watch the movie and see everything would be shown. He said, watching the movie, I felt like it went back in time. I don't know what movie they're really talking about there, but yeah, that is very, very interesting right there. He's planning on either moving up to the UFC's middleweight division to fight Paulo Costa at UFC 283, or possibly if the UFC is able to, and Israel Adesanya is able to win against Poatan Pereira, that'll leave a possibility, as the coach is saying, for Khamzat Chimaev to jump the line and face Israel Adesanya in 2023. Either that, or he fights Paulo Costa, or he could be the backup for the main event between Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman. So there's three things that Khamzat Chimaev is going to do. Backup for UFC welterweight division title fight, skip the line and fight Israel Adesanya if he beats Powhatan, or fight Paulo Costa at UFC 283. Those are the only options as of right now from Khamzat Chimaev's coach. What do you think would happen for Khamzat? I personally think he is going to be getting the man, the myth, the legend, Paulo Costa. But what do y'all think? Put your thoughts down below in the comment section. Gilbert Burns says Leon Edwards Kamaru Usman trilogy is a 50-50 fight, but don't be surprised if Leon Edwards wins in that UFC main event, maybe in England, but we shall see. I think that was a big factor in that fight, is going to be the gas of Leon Edwards. That was the main thing that Leon Edwards was losing to in the last fight with Kamaru Usman, was because Leon had the technique early on in the fight, was doing very, very good at defending the takedowns, but he ended up gassing out. Gilbert Burns says, I still think it's a 50-50 fight. Both guys have got a chance, but in London, with that preparation, with that mindset now, I think Leon might be the best and get the best of Kamaru Usman. It's going to be a close one, says Gilbert Burns. My prediction for that one, I do believe Usman will win, but yes, I do believe the cardio and the elevation at UFC 278 definitely did play a factor. So if Leon is able to survive and he's able to keep up the cardio for the full 5 rounds, I do believe Leon will win that fight. It comes down to the cardio and the takedown defense of Leon. What do y'all think about Gilbert Burns saying Edwards-Usman trilogy is a 50-50? Put your thoughts down below. That is it for today's MMA news. We had Bo Nickal, Jamie Pickett. Bo Nickal's going to go out there and KO the man, the myth, the legend. Well, Jamie Pickett in 30 seconds of round number 1. We had other things as well in today's video. Who's Paddy Pimblett going to fight next? I thought maybe in the UFC's lightweight division, either Bobby Green or Jared Gordon. We had Khamzat Chimaev's next fight, either Paulo Costa, Israel Adesanya, or the winner or loser, just maybe if someone kind of pulls out of the fight in the main event of Edwards versus Usman. And we had Usman Edwards is a 50-50 fight, says Gilbert Burns. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.